Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Tyler Rugge. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the coolest lizards that I own, but also just I think some of the coolest lizards that exist in my opinion, and those are Ackie monitors. I attended NARBC Tinley Park back in October, and that is where I got these Ackie monitors from. More specifically, I got them from Sim Container. You guys may be aware of them because it's a really popular, well, they make sim containers, but that's also the name of their brand. Sim containers are just basically really useful containers to incubate eggs in, reptile eggs specifically. Not sure if I had to clarify that. I had the pleasure of meeting John over at Sim Container, and he talked to me for a really long time about Ackie monitors, and I forgot how long he said he's been working with monitors. I think like 30 years or something like that. It was a really long time. And he was just giving me all this knowledge and talking to me about them, and it just made me want them even more. So I've been wanting Ackie monitors for a really long time. So I ended up purchasing my Ackies from John at Sim Container. Shout out. I'll link their Instagram down below. They have a bunch of different types of monitors and different things. Basically, long story short, I ended up getting 3 Ackie monitors. I just want to talk about Ackies, kind of introduce them to you guys. I'm terrible with scientific names, but their scientific name is Varanus acanthurus. Not sure. Ackie monitors are endemic to Australia. They're a monitor species that spends a lot of their time basking on rocks and hiding in crevices, and they also like to burrow under rocks. What's really awesome about Ackie monitors, again, there's a lot of things. But as far as if you want to keep one as a pet, what makes them a great monitor species to keep is that they do not get very large, like at all. They're definitely one of the smaller monitor species. So if you're wanting a monitor, then an Ackie monitor is going to be a great choice for you because they don't get that big. Typically maybe around 2 feet long, including their tail. They're honestly kind of comparable in size to bearded dragons, but they probably get maybe a little bit longer. Just depends. But they don't get very big. They don't need, you know, a humongous enclosure like a savanna monitor would need, you know? But because they're monitors, they're extremely intelligent, inquisitive. They very much need a lot of enrichment, and they're very, very active creatures. So although they are a little bit more on the smaller side, they still need a decent sized enclosure, but it's definitely, I think, manageable for a monitor species. There just aren't very many monitors that you can keep in as small of an enclosure as an Ackie. So if I'm not mistaken, the absolute bare minimum enclosure size, which isn't really size that I think is recommended, but just kind of the absolute bare minimum, would be a 4x2x2. I would definitely recommend something a little bit larger than that. By no means is this going to be like a care guide because I haven't even had them that long. I'm not bold enough to make a care guide just yet. I'm housing my Ackies in this enclosure behind me actually. This is a 2x2x2 Zen habitat. My Ackies are still really small, and they're actually, in my opinion, getting a little bit too big for even this enclosure for my comfort. Like I want to upgrade them, and I am. I actually have a custom enclosure being made as we speak, and I'm hoping to get it soon, and I'm really excited to show you guys, but it's not here yet. So for now they live in this. It works really good for them though. The 2x2x2 size is really nice because the height is really good, and having a decent amount of height for the Ackies is important for a couple reasons. First of all, like I said, they like to climb around, and also they like to burrow. But the Zen habitats are really nice. Zens also do come in 4x2x2, and they also have an extension kit where you can connect the 4x2x2 enclosures together. So if you guys are interested in getting a Zen habitat for Ackies or anything else, I have an affiliate link with them, and you can use it if you want to, if you're gonna buy something. That will be down in the description below. I've only had my Ackies for 3 months, but despite that, they have grown so much in those 3 months. But here's a picture of them, like in the cups at the expo. It's hard to tell in the picture, it's a little deceiving honestly, but they were really small. And I don't know if you can tell, but now they are a lot bigger. They're not like huge or anything, but they've definitely grown a significant amount. They grow very quickly. And another thing I want to talk about is cohabitating them, because as you can tell, I am. And honestly, if you're just looking to get a pet Ackie or whatever, I only recommend really getting one because they don't benefit by any means from being kept in pairs or groups. They're perfectly fine alone. And even if you do 2 females or a male and a female, there's still the potential for them to fight and not get along and to have issues, which is why, you know, it's just not really worth dealing with it unless you're experienced or if you are fine with dealing with it and separating them potentially. So my goal with my Ackies is to, in the future, breed them, and my hope with buying 3 of them is that one of them was going to be male and that the other 2 would be female. Because like I said, if 2 of them are male, that's it. I can't keep them together. They're too small to sex for sure. When I was picking out which Topenders to purchase from John, he kind of tried to pick out ones that he thought looked, one that looked more male and then 2 that he thought looked more female. But as they mature, they can, you know, things can change and it might turn out that it's not what they looked like initially. But once they get a little bit bigger, I think I'll be able to see more, you know, which one is looking more male. Hopefully only one of them is going to be looking more male. And what's also really amazing about these creatures is, although they are smaller monitors, they're still monitors and they still act like monitors, and they have all of the same mannerisms you'll see in a lot of the larger monitors. They're mainly insectivores, and watching them hunt is just so fun. They'll like run up to a cricket really fast and then just stare at it and wait for it to move, and then as soon as it moves, they just annihilate them. And sometimes they'll run after one cricket and then they'll see another one across the enclosure and run after that one and they'll see another one. Like if you put a bunch of crickets in there, they just like don't know where to go and they're like, oh my God. And they're just running all over the place. You might be asking yourself, you know, like how hard is an Ackie monitor to take care of? And it's honestly not very difficult in my opinion, at least so far. Again, only had them a few months. But I've also been researching for much longer than months. And again, I've talked to a lot of people who've owned them. And I've actually heard people say that they actually find Ackies to be easier to take care of than a bearded dragon in some ways. And I mean, I think the general consensus, most people enjoy keeping them more than a bearded dragon because again, intelligence, interactability, activity. Love bearded dragons, don't get me wrong, but they don't compare to Ackies. Although Ackies need a larger enclosure, their diet is more simple because they just eat insects. They have similar like UVB requirements to bearded dragons, and they also require a very high temperature, much higher than a bearded dragon. Only thing that really, I think, makes their care slightly more intense than a bearded dragon is they need a larger enclosure, first of all, and also they need, you know, just a lot of enrichment. Now, I think everything needs enrichment. Bearded dragons need enrichment too, but Ackies are just so much more, again, intelligent and active, and they're just going to be exploring and moving around constantly in their enclosure. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing me talk about how freaking cool I think these lizards are because I could go on forever, and I know you guys don't want me to do that. I do, however, want to show you guys just kind of a brief overview of my enclosure setup so far. I know it's not complete. It's not like the ideal long-term Ackie setup by any means. This was just kind of something I threw together to hold me over until I had their final custom setup done. This is their enclosure. Again, nothing too special here. Nothing too special to see here, but it's very functional for what I need. So that's what counts. So 2 of them are out. You can see one right there, one right there. Hello, he is so cute. Hey bestie. What you'll notice is obviously I have a lot of vertical space. They love to come up here. Their basking bulbs are right there. So I need an area where they can get pretty close to the basking lights. Their basking temperature is around 150 degrees Fahrenheit, which is obviously very high. That's achieved by allowing them to get pretty close to the light. I just check the surface temperature with a heat gun, a couple of cork tubes that they like to hide in. And then I have like this hide, which is half buried, so they can kind of burrow in there. And then I also have a cork flat here that's kind of stuck into the ground. You can't see it that easily, but it's like half buried, and then there's a burrow down in there. I'll typically mist this enclosure to give it a little bit of a humidity boost, but I'll also just kind of pour water down into these 2 burrows so that they have 2 really humid burrows. They're pretty much constantly shedding, it feels like, because of how quickly they're growing. So they're just pretty much in a constant state of shed. I love them. Very cute. Hello, bestie. What's up? He's like, don't fucking touch me, bitch. Once again, I just want to thank John at Sim Container for being so awesome. I am beyond excited to get their custom enclosure in and to set that up because I think it's just going to be so awesome. I'm also excited to embark on this journey of owning these monitors with you guys and setting up their enclosure. That's going to be coming up hopefully in the very near future. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you want to see more. All my social media links will be down in the description below, and I will see you guys in my next video.